everyone. We're the 2018 Baldwin Fellow participants. My name is Jenna Brandeman. I'm a public relations major.
Hi, I'm Tim Marie Foster, and I'm a political science and international relations major.
I'm Haley Schmitz, and I'm a neuroscience major.
And I'm Michelle Hahn, and I'm also a neuroscience major.
We attended the National Character and Leadership Symposium at the United States Air Force Academy in Colorado Springs, Colorado.
This year's theme centered around ethics and respect for human dignity.
Today we will be sharing with you our favorite part of the conference, our favorite speaker, as well as our biggest takeaways. Let's get started.
My favorite part of NCLS was experiencing the mission of the Air Force Academy. Like Wartburg, they have mission pillars, and those three are character, leadership, and education. And each and every day, moment, situation that they were there, the cadets lived and breathed those pillars, and they really knew that that's what their foundation of character and ethics need to be based off of. Like Wartburg, the four pillars are leadership, service, faith, and learning. So you can really see the connection between Wartburg students and the cadets and how those pillars are ingrained to them until graduation, even on to a possible military career or Air Force career, and just like Wartburg students going into a business or doctor and things like that. So just having those pillars are both ethically and within their character is really good. My impactful speaker was Dr. Marvin Berkowitz. He is a professor of character education at Missouri of St. Louis. He really talked about and discussed ethical character and kind of research and statistics around that, but there were three main points that I want to give to you today. The first one was be willing to change yourself in order to change others or your organization. We ethically need to be willing and understanding of what we strive for and are kind of respected for, so within that you need to make sure that you are willing to change yourself before you push to change others ethically. The second one was a zen of ethics, that ethics isn't just something to go through the motions, it's a way of being. It's your foundation that you need to set your leadership and service skills on. And thirdly are the three H's, the head, heart, and hands. And we as leaders need to be conscious of those things as we think and we feel and we do with our head, heart, and hands. And lastly, my biggest takeaway would have been the respect and responsibility of the cadets. It was a really cool experience just to kind of see their lifestyle compared to college and how their commitment and dedication to not only their country, but to those around them within their squadron and classes. It was really cool to see.
My favorite part was experiencing cadet life. My cadet had off-campus rights, so we visited the Garden of the Gods Park in Colorado Springs, where we went hiking and experienced the beautiful scenery of Colorado. My favorite speaker was Errol Southers, a transportation security and counterterrorism expert. He spoke about the current terrorism and extremist groups that pose as a threat to our country. In addition, he spoke about the theme of the conference, ethics and respect for human dignity. One quote that he said was, "If you can't treat someone with dignity and respect, then get out." He also spoke about the importance of public service, encouraging the audience to take action. I was inspired to make my project more about serving others. My biggest takeaway of the conference was the discipline and dedication of the cadets every day. They don't question what they're doing, but they trust the process, and I think that's something we can all learn from.
My favorite part about NCLS was the community and the atmosphere of the academy. Everywhere you went, the cadets were treating each other like family, which is so important. It allows each other to be at their best at any part of time. My favorite speaker was the Next Jump Company with CEO Charlie Kim. He talks about lying, hiding, and faking, and how in order for a culture and a workplace to get ahead, they must not lie, hide, or fake about themselves. They need to be honest when they don't understand something or if they have an issue. The second part was challenging everything. You got to create change in order for us to make progress. And lastly, a better you plus a better me equals a better us. And that really hit with me because in order for Wartburg and us to in our community service aspects, we must change ourselves, the people around us, so that everybody is improved. My biggest takeaway was the respect that the cadets have for everyone. It didn't matter if you were a civilian, part of ROTC, or just visiting campus. They were incorporating everyone, talking, making sure that you felt welcome.
My favorite speaker was General Thomas Kolditz. His presentation was entitled Failure from the New Leadership Perspective. I really enjoyed his approach to leadership. Oftentimes, leadership is presented in a way where we are taught things to do in order to be good leaders. However, General Colditz took a different route and analyzed failure and taught things that we should avoid in order to promote good leadership. He started by talking about failure and how failure is a learned behavior, and that it is deeply instilled in us when we are young by our parents, and more specifically our mothers. He says because it is a learned behavior, we are able to change it if we are consciously aware. So he talks about how the fear of failure yields guilt and shame, and guilt is something that is internalized, something that we feel within ourselves, whereas shame is something that we externalize and that we push onto other people. He says that guilt is actually very important to good leadership. It is good to feel guilt. However, shame is very destructive to any type of group or organization and is something that should be completely avoided in anybody's leadership style to be a successful leader. He says that if we're consciously aware of not putting shame on other people, then we will have a better functioning organization or group. He also then goes on to talk about how to respond to a crisis or failure, which was an integral part of his entire presentation. He was presenting to a group of military personnel, so cadets and ROTC people, who have to respond to different types of crises involving national security, breaches, nuclear, missiles, and things like that. And he was giving a lot of examples that were like major crises or failures that could result in breaches in national security. But I was able to take away messages from his presentation and apply to my own life and even my Baldwin Fellows Project. He talked about how failure is something that is inevitable, that is uncontrollable, and that will happen whether we like it or not, or whether we're ready for it or not. And he says that that's kind of scary. Of course it's scary. But things that we can do are be masters at things that we can control and be extremely competent and extremely good at everything that we can control, so that when failure comes and failure happens or crises happen, that we are able to respond as best as we can and as fast as can and as good leaders. So I thought that was really inspiring, and he gave me a lot of good takeaways that I could bring back to my Baldwin Fellows Project.
Thank you for taking the time to watch this video.
We hope you enjoyed learning about our experience at NCLS.
We are excited to share our experiences with next year's fellows and incorporate what we've learned into our projects.
We want to extend a special thank you to the Baldwins, Ashley Lang, and the National Leadership Advisory Board.
Thank you.